luck with
Hi.
Hi, Ronda.
Like in the center of the chaos here.
Very long workout. How was it?
It was great. You know, it was a little chilly at first, but I warmed up quick. And man, whew, there's fly. And people warned me. People warned me about flies here. But I really appreciate everybody like waiting and coming to watch. It's like really heartwarming how much support we really have here. And yeah, it's a real pleasure.
You've had a pretty special relationship with Australia. Is this just another one of those adventures that you're going to have down here? Because in your judo career, you enjoyed being down here too.
Actually, I never got to come here during my judo career. It was the one continent I was missing, and I kept being like, I've been everywhere except for Australia. It was like the one thing missing. And the history of my family with Australia is my mom fought an Australian in the finals of World Championships, and she said it was the hardest match of her life and the toughest girl she ever met. And so I've always wanted to have my own experience down here, and it's been absolutely amazing. I'm definitely coming back and gonna more enjoy it for pleasure instead of business next time.
Ronda, Michelle Payne's a bit of local inspiration for you heading into Sunday?
Oh yeah, she's been amazing. I mean, she really set the tone of like right when we landed. She went and made history for women in Melbourne, and I mean, it was such a pleasure and an honor to meet her today. And she said she's coming to the fight, so I'm really excited. If it was reversed, I would have gone to see her perform. But I mean, next time I'll have to come watch her.
You talked about making history. What is do you have any sense of the success of the event right now? They're trying to go for 70,000. Do you have any sense of like where ticket sales are?
I don't know. I kind of just stay away from that. I've done everything that I can do, and all that's left is for me to win. All that's left for me to win and to make everybody that's coming happy, and tell everybody else that didn't come that they were really missing out. And that's all I can do is put on the most exciting and fantastic performance that they could see.
Ronda, wherever you go, how do you stay so grounded?
Fighting. As soon as I go back to the gym and it's the only place where I don't have like a first and last name, you know? And so the crazier and more grand everything gets, the more I just kind of want to return to that place. It's like, it's my place of comfort, and it's really like the only real stable in my life.
Ronda, it's taken a while for this state in Australia to hop on the UFC bandwagon. For the uninitiated, what makes the sport so popular around the world?
Because fighting is something human. It's not something wrong. It's an instinct inside of all of us. You know, it's not for old or young or men or women. Every single one of us has an instinct to fight, and to, I think, suppress that is unsafe. And I think that we all need to embrace a safe and controlled environment where people can see that it's not something that you should be ashamed of, but something you should really channel in the right way. And I think that UFC is that way everyone's been looking.
What about the calls for kids not to attend the event on Sunday? Does that disappoint you?
No, I think it's personal and up to the parents. You know, a lot of parents think it's right for their kids to sit front row of a WWE event where people are getting smacked in the face with ladders and bleeding all over the place. But you know, it's their decision. I watched WWE like wrestling growing up, and I thought it was awesome. And I consider myself a functional adult. But a lot of people would disagree with that, and a lot of people disagree with fighting. I mean, some people disagree with the environment and the crowd. It's a very loud and boisterous crowd, and so I think it's personally up to the parent. I'm not going to tell anyone how to raise their kid.
You talk about how much harder you work than everybody, and I guess today really showed us that you spent, I would say, at least double the amount of time up there than anybody else here today.
Yeah, and I mean, I do much more than that. This is actually my rest week. This is one of my easy days, and yeah, I don't go up there just for show. I'm really training when I'm up there, and that's really what we need to do at this point in camp. And I'm not just going out there and doing the minimum possible for the fans so I could do my secret little things in the back. I mean, I do a couple, whenever I do open workouts, I throw a couple things in there that are kind of like decoys, stuff I'm not really planning on doing, but I'm showing it anyway. And so it's up to them and their interpretation. They could watch every single one of my trainings leading up to the fight, and they could have known me since I was 4, and I'm still going to beat them. It doesn't matter.
So one of the press activities.
You've been at this for a while, but I saw you up on stage there, you know, mouthing to your trainer that this is crazy, and you lost your concentration skipping rope. You're used to crowds, but what's different about this crowd?
And it's just so much like positivity and support. I mean, sometimes I'm like, man, I really hope I deserve this. Like, I'm trying my best to deserve it. I really am. But I mean, sometimes it's just that like, you just kind of get wrapped up in how amazing all of this is. You know, you get so focused on the fight, and it causes so much like fear and anxiety and stress in you, and you kind of like lose sight of how amazing it is sometimes. And this fight has really been an opportunity to see that. Like, I was sitting on the mats the other day, just after training, and I was like looking at the tatami and like the little ridges in the tatami and thinking about all those nights that like I slept on tatami when I was a kid, or when I was tired and my face was on and I was like imprinting the little pattern in my face, and I just started crying, and I'm like, my coach was like, what's wrong? And I was like, I love these mats, and I love the mats, and I'm like, that's why I want to win. That's why I'm better than all these girls. You think Holly Holm ever looks at a boxing ring and cries because she loves it so much? No. And that's like why I have these moments where I look out and everyone's like cheering my name, and I'm like, who are you people and why do you like me? Like, it's overwhelming sometimes, but man, I'm trying my best to appreciate it, and I'm gonna show my appreciation for them by winning in the most fantastic way possible and making them so happy that they were there to see it.
Ronda, 10 years ago, could you have imagined that female martial arts athletes would have a stage like this and an opportunity like this?
No, 10 years ago I was pissed off that there wasn't that, and I was still at that point where I didn't think that there was anything to do about it, that I could do about it, and it took a couple years for me to think. I used to think like, why is judo so unpopular in the US? It's so cool. Like, why is there like fishing on TV and people are like, oh, let's just sit and watch this guy catch fish, and they're all like sitting and watching that, and like no one cares about judo, you know? And I felt like it was so unfair that what I did and what I was so good at was so unappreciated, and that's proof that's changed.
Ronda, do you ever feel that UFC's popularity around the world has been, I guess, assisted by boxing's decline globally, do you reckon?
No, I think that they both help each other out. And I think that a resurgence of boxing would help MMA out as well, to really have combat sports, individual sports be the main focus. I really don't think that football and basketball and baseball take away from each other. You know, I think they really, they help each other out. And by having that team sport culture, and I think that combat individual sport culture is all helped out by the success of all of them. And I just think that, you know, there's generational surges in every sport, you know, and they're just in the transitional phase right now, going from the Pacquiao Mayweather to more like the Gennady and Andre Ward kind of generation now.
Ronda, can you tell us again why you're so confident you'll win on Sunday?
Because I work harder than everybody, and I want it more. That's it. That really is it. I mean, and I know that, like, this is what I was put on this earth to do. It really is. Like, this was a mission that was given to me. I really feel like that I have found my place and what I'm supposed to be doing, and I really feel like it's better for all of us. You know, like, this is my role for all the women in the division. You know, it helps them all out that they get to all take their turns losing to me. They'll all make a lot more money that way. After I retire and they fight each other, they're not going to make as much money being the champion when I'm gone than they are being the contenders now. And so, if anything, I feel like, you know, they'll appreciate me when I'm gone, maybe not right now, but I feel like this is my purpose and I'm fulfilling it.
In one of the press activities for this fight,
what?
There was a press conference, a teleconference for this fight, and your line disconnected pretty early.
Next
in the
question.
Ronda, the mental game is very important to you. I can see you got hands still in your hand wraps. So how much has actually come into it? How much has actually come into preparation to the fight?
The mental part is everything when it comes to the fight, and I feel like that's what really makes me stand apart. And you know, physically, I'm not that much bigger. I'm smaller than Holly is, and I'm not that much stronger or faster than all these other girls are. I feel like mentally what sets me apart, and that's why I train that just like everything else. You know, every week leading up to the fight is like a fight week. I have the cameras around like it's a fight week. I have my sparring at the same time, MMA sparring at the same time like it's a fight week. This is like my 7th fight week in a row. You know, I prepare for all of it.
Do you think that MMA is still a male-dominated sport when it's most dominant athlete is a female?
No, I think it's everyone's sport. And I think that this event here in Melbourne is proving that.
Thanks, guys. Dr. Fuller. Thank you.
Thanks, Ronda.
Thanks.
Sorry,
Good luck.